Hey guys, welcome back this week. We got episode 19 for you. Dennis and I are going to be talking about multiple things, but the one thing I think is most important is we talk about what to do in the storm. Not afterwards to get better, not before to prepare, but actually in the storm, what to do when you're standing in the fire. Here we go. I ran
Mr. O.
into multiple former police officers who came down here to retire and are being rangers at these golf courses.
Nice.
One of them's a Wisconsin state trooper. The other one was a Pennsylvania state trooper. Uh, yeah, and it was kind of cool that they walk up, and they want to vet me, you know what I mean? Because I'm the person collecting money for the donations for the
Yeah.
non-for-profit, and they're like, "So what's going on here?" And I basically lay my story on them. They're like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
here we go."
And then it's a little different. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool.
so I get to do that. That's pretty
Well,
neat.
like I remember like all my life instructors and my dad and my brother and uncle, I mean everybody pretty much were saying things like just pull straight back. Just pull straight back. You're not pulling straight back. And I'm always like, I'm going straight back. And what I realize now, what I realized yesterday, the epiphany went off. The lights went off. What I realized yesterday was I had been like overextending, trying to go straight back. Really. I mean, I'm over exaggerating it now, but I'm like trying to
Yeah,
go straight back and I'm over exaggerating. Like I'm going straight back, but that's not it. It's just, you just go straight back. Quit leaning like I was doing. So I kept leaning and they're like, quit going back. I'm like, I'm doing what you're telling me. It was
right.
just a disconnect with the whole intentions and listening, like the whole communication thing we talked about before, where
Yeah,
their intent was to do this, just go straight back like this. And I was like, okay, I'm going straight back, but I was leaning and reaching. And
yeah.
so right from the get go, I'm off the cuff.
Like your chest
Then
was
they say
almost
stuff like,
going.
don't break your wrists. But I found
Yeah,
myself always on top of my swing like this, right? Behind, like that.
yeah,
So no, I'm reaching, I'm doing this. No wonder I was a sliced king. Everything kept going right.
yeah,
So it's just straight back. And then the best advice I heard from all, so I've been taking a lot of online classes or watching videos and
yeah.
things, trying to get ideas about my swing, what's going on, what was going to apply for me, because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't apply.
That's awesome.
These are the ones that applied for me. The one that said, instead of worrying about keeping your wrist straight, flex it the other way.
Yeah,
I'm always flexing it this way. Just go ahead and flex it the other way on the top, at the top of your swing. Then when you come down, you're already kind of aligned. Now, of course, keep your shoulders straight. Make sure you just, doing everything else right. Your grip, your foot stay. Like there's 15 things that
right.
have to be in order. We all know this from golf. That's why it makes it like life. Like you have to go through all your little checklists, make sure you have things right. You have
Yep.
obstacles to overcome. You have little problem areas to troubleshoot. There's the wind, there's the weather, there's the rain, there's, all that kind of stuff too. So then I tried doing that. So now I'm going straight back. I'm bringing my wrist in, and it's going straight, and it's going far. Like I was practicing with my 3-iron first, and all of a sudden I hit it. It sounded sweet and felt sweet, and I looked up, and it landed. Tower T.
Yeah.
The far blue ones are like 215 and 225 or something like that for the blue clubs, right?
Yeah.
It landed in between them
Uh,
with my 4-iron.
the fact that you can hit a 4-iron well is impressive, sir.
Right. Okay. So then, well, and then plus each of your swings have to be a little bit different. Your long irons are different than your short irons, and they're all different than your driver. This is
Yeah.
another thing I did wrong with my driver. I straighten my arms. I try to straighten my arms and elbows and make my arms and the shaft all straight on the club.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then I'm going straight back for time overextending, and then I'm breaking my wrist this way. So
Then
no wonder
coming
it all looked
over.
crap. Yeah, the one of the things I saw that really kind of opened my eyes, or how they explained it, made more sense to me, was the club was supposed to be kind of tilted straight.
What do you
Put your
mean?
arm straight down. The driver,
Yeah.
the driver head is like this, and it's all flat right there, right?
Yeah.
It should be canted just a little bit, and then the pole just a little bit. It doesn't need to be straight up and down. It is canted. I
Like
always thought
the
that was like you have the wrong club because you had it canted. It doesn't. Oh, it's too long of a club, probably.
I get you. Like the old guys do. You see the old guys with the long clubs, and you see the driver kind of sat down, but it's canted up a little bit, and you're
Yeah,
like, huh. And they
no,
just
it's
go,
fine.
wow.
That's
You can
fine.
see the pros do it too, actually. Like
Yeah,
sometimes
and
you'll
there's nothing
see
wrong
it.
with that. I started noticing this more too, watching Augusta last week and stuff, or this last weekend. And there's that. And then the best one I heard was John Daly saying, pretend there's a nail in the back of the golf ball, and you're trying to hammer a nail through that golf ball into a wall that's right by the golf ball. So not only are you trying to concentrate on how you hit, but it also helped me concentrate not leaning into it so much because there'd be a
Yeah.
wall there.
Yeah.
So it's I'm trying to drive that nail on.
You
So I
know what
started practicing that.
we need to
Like I said,
practice on a bag. Have you ever seen those as a
yeah,
training?
there were some that had like like the sit up ball, which we have downstairs, and put that on
Yeah.
your back against the wall and practice so you're not coming off the wall so much, or put it to your left hip.
Oh,
So
yeah.
stuff like that. Those were good too. I was practicing some of those. I did a lot of practicing around the house, but yesterday was the first time of actually trying to apply it on a ball at a driving range. And like I said, the 4-iron took off 200 yards, 215 yards. I was hitting my 9-iron. Remember we played golf the other day? I told you I lost so much distance with my clubs.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit older, don't play as much, got a little bit of a belly. I guess I thought my belly was just getting in the way. Maybe no, it's my swing was all fucked up. That's the
Yeah.
bigger deal.
What
My
was
nine
it?
iron
Kind of
is
like,
normally my 9-iron is normally like 100, 110.
was it the
I was hitting like
snap?
140.
Are you finding like the timing in it? Like the snaps
Well,
coming
I
through?
think I think with irons, especially the lower irons and wedges, what I was already doing with that extension and breaking the wrist, I
Yeah.
was then coming up underneath it and going under it more. So
Yeah.
that's why my ball goes higher than a lot of people and not as far and stuff like that.
If it
It,
goes left. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I remember at Tower T you had a couple like skulls, and that's what that was probably is it was you're out, you felt it, so you opened it up to come across, and then it just went off the
hit the
tip.
blade or something. There were
Yeah.
a lot of slices on longer irons and woods, but the shorter ones I didn't slice as much, just a little bit to the left. I've learned some other techniques for really short ones that I got this last summer that have been really good for my game too. But yeah, all of a sudden I hit my 9-iron like 140 yards.
Fuck yeah. All right, so
How does this happen?
I was telling Kate about it, and she was like, "What are you reading? You almost look concerned." I go, "No, I'm actually really excited." Found how on fire Kaufman is right now. Putting in the work, laugh out loud. I'm finally starting to understand so many lessons and pointers over the years. My my nine just went from 110 to 145/150. How many times was it said just straight back? And I try and try, but never get it.
Yeah.
Overreaching and backswing and coming down too far behind my hips and just slice after slice. Then there's a picture. Added yards to all my clubs, nine from 110 to 145. Drivers bombing 250 range, exclamation
I was
points.
hitting the back of
I,
the fence
I
at
haven't hit
Tartini.
250 in forever. So what I want to point out is we've been talking a lot about golf and how fucking frustrating it could be, but then all of a sudden you have a day like this
Yeah.
and you're just like on
I'm ready to go.
fire.
I'm ready to go today again.
You're on
It's like
fire for
all of a
golf.
sudden everything makes
No,
sense, and I want to try and try and try all these different shots, all these different. I was drawing on purpose and
it,
slicing on purpose yesterday.
that's insane. And look how on fire you are for it right now. Do you feel
Yeah.
stressed out about other things?
Oh yeah. I mean, like I came home and Julie and I had a little misunderstanding about
No, no,
something.
no,
No
no,
big
no,
deal.
no, no.
We overcome it, but
I mean, when you were out there, were you thinking about other stressful things? Were
oh
you just
heck
on
no.
fire?
I was just enjoying the moment.
Yes.
Yes, exactly, exactly. It was.
Perfect.
You're in church, you're
Yeah.
connected to nature, and you're doing the thing.
And you
It was
need
great.
that time, just that time and out there and like and like to see the improvement, although it's not easy and it can be seen in very small bits. You got to see a really cool day,
Yeah,
where just like,
it was a huge growth day. Like I said, I want to keep going every day because I don't want it to go away. I don't want to forget what I learned and what I did. Like now I'm gonna go out and
yeah,
just hard out the shanks or something. And
that's what I
I'm
got.
like,
I know
I
what
even
you
like,
mean.
I even like the second time I hit my driver like 2 times straight in a row. I'm like, I'm actually hitting it straight, and it's bombing. It's landing past those blue flags. I start swinging a little bit smoother, a little bit, silkier, I guess, and a
Yeah,
little harder, I guess, but not really trying to be harder.
right.
Just getting the nature of the swing, because I think I've always had a natural, somewhat swing from doing it so many years. I
Yeah.
just needed my hands and my feet and my hips to be in the right spots, and I finally kind of got them to line up. My
Really,
chakra
I
is
guess.
lined up, and God, I even though okay, we're right by the 215 is the golf guy taking his break in the thing, getting ready to make another swing, come up towards us. I'm like, I'm gonna aim close to him. hit him. I hit the cart thing. I'm like, it went right where I wanted it to go. That
Yeah.
doesn't happen very often, especially not with a driver. So yeah, I'm excited. I texted my brother too, just like I was texting you. I'm like, remember how times
Yeah.
you and Dad ever said go straight back? I finally understood what you meant. Finally get it. It's only 40 years later, but I finally get it.
That's awesome. It's such a cool, yeah. That's a
Yeah,
moment. That's a
and
moment.
it has to translate to a course too. That'll be the another big test. Make sure it actually translates to a course
Yeah.
for 18 holes with some kind of consistency.
Yeah.
I mean that's what I've always had to work on was consistency anyway. But I
But
mean,
just remember, like, I went to the Masters and I would say 2 out of 4 shots were shit shots,
yeah,
honestly. Like, it was just like you'd see. I don't know if you watch it on TV at all, but like the last day, Rory hit it into everything bad and somehow still won. Like
yeah,
he was hitting it in places where I was like, man, that's so hard because on number 2, it's a good chance to get uh, an eagle. Actually, if you hit it to the top of the hill, and Rory can do it. Rory can hit it over the hill, down the hill. But the first time he put it in the sand right at the top of the hill, and I was just like, and when you're standing in that bunker, I didn't get to stand in it, but I could barely see the person's head when they were in it and
yeah.
I was on the backside, and they're like hitting it up on the green. They have to hit it over that just to get it down the hill for their third shot. And it's just, you know, I have to remember a lot that I just can't take it too serious because when I take it well, first off, no one has a perfect game. Like no one,
Right. Yeah,
although these
Rory, like you
pros
said, Roy.
practice.
Look how many times Rory missed the fairway in the last round, hit it from the wood. But then he had an amazing like draw around a tree onto the green. I saw one replay.
Yeah, but
He drew it
there
right around a
was
tree and onto the green.
and yeah, there was one where like he was what was he on?
I
He
think it
was
was Rory. It might have been somebody else. I don't remember.
no, I believe it. There was one where Rory could have gone in 2. He had the line to go in 2 on a par 5. I think it's on Amen Corner or might be number 14. Um, but he laid up, he didn't need to. He was
Yeah.
like, and then he dunked it in the water on that third shot. Do you remember that?
I might have missed that
Holy
one.
smokes. It was like a 90-yard shot. It didn't even like hit the green. Like all it was is over a creek onto the green so he can 2 putt and move along. He dunks it in the water. He at least got a bogey, if not a double. Lost his stroke there. There was just like you could see it in his face. He's like everything that could go wrong was going wrong on the golf course for him.
My inner golfer.
And he won the Masters. I mean,
Exactly.
given he had to put 3 good days in, or I think actually no, he put 2 really good days in.
Yeah,
Thursday was okay. Friday was great. Saturday was great.
but it
Sunday
goes
was
to the
great.
points that we've been trying to make, and some of our guests have been trying to make about everything with resilience. It's not just your golf game.
Yeah.
You got to keep going. Don't
Yes.
give up. Keep going. You'll have some bad days. You're not going to have the perfect life. Nobody does. Nobody has the perfect round of golf.
Right.
Nobody does. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody hits into the woods or into a sand trap sometimes. You can't let it get to you. You got to just move forward. And it's easier said than done. I mean, like I was even just alluding to when I got home, there was a little bit of a mix up with Julie and I. And at first, it felt like we were going to kind of get in an argument, I guess, or whatever, disagreement. It was nothing bad. We're fine now and everything.
Right.
But
You
it's
guys are
just like,
normal people.
man, I just had a good day of golf and now this. Like, what's going on? And then I cut my thumb the next day. And then, somebody cut me off when I was driving down to get lunch. And it's like, why is all this bad stuff happening to me? And then it's
Right.
like, well, what are the lessons that we keep talking about on this podcast? Just take a breath, control what you can control. And it's still tough.
What
It's
a
still not easy.
What a great segue, because I've got a couple things here.
Yeah.
Now we've been talking about, like you said, tools for resilience, stories of resilience, how golf works, how a higher power works. And it is cool that the majority of people that we've talked to who've been through traumatic situations, a lot of the times they do acknowledge that at some point a higher power came into play. So, we talk about that, and that's great and everything like that for someone to hear. Um, but the truth is, I didn't get close to my higher power by being like, "Hey, God, It's time for you to help me, right? I
Right.
actually got closer to my higher power uh, because I needed someone with me in the fire. I was alone and it felt like I was in a storm, in a fire. I was going through it, stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I needed help. And
Up
that's when
shit creek without a paddle.
yeah, I was up shit without a paddle and I needed help. And so, what am I referring to? I was in the fire, and the people I'm talking to, I believe, instead of like coaching them on, golf helped and this was great and this got me here and the higher power at the end of the day was great. What are we saying to the person who's actually on fire right now? The person who's actually going through depression in this moment, who's actually just experienced a death in their family or a close one, who's experienced betrayal, who's going through addiction and feel like they can't live with or without it. Anything they're going through and they're trying to escape it, but they can no longer escape. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. That is the fire. That is when
Yeah.
you're actually feeling the pain. Not when you're talking about it afterwards, not when you're coached about what it could be before, when you're in the fire. So, what we have to do is when we are going through it, when we're feeling the feelings, the overwhelming sadness, fear,
Pressure.
anxiety, pressure, stress, withdrawal, I, you know,
Yep.
physical withdrawal. What we keep saying, what helps us in the end, like talking to your friends or developing trust in a higher power, that doesn't matter to someone's going through it right now. I know I've said it 5 times, but I'm talking to someone out there right now. They
Exactly.
need to know what to do now in the fire, not just along the way to improve your situation. It's about the choice to take the hard road,
Yeah.
although it's not the
Well, I
easy
guess
one.
that's the first. I mean, that would be the first step to kind of contemplate.
That's what
Are
it
you
is.
wanting to get out of this?
It's actually making the decision, the hard decision, the
Yeah.
hard road, the choice and the road that you should take. It's not the easy one. It's not the most attractive one. It's you are between a rock and a hard place, and there's only a couple ways out, and this is the way you got to do it.
I'd say be
So,
honest with yourself. Find someone to talk to so you can get some of these feelings out, so you can hear them actually voiced, and then that right there can be a stress relief too. Hearing
exactly.
somebody saying they understand what you're going through can help. Having somebody there just to hug you can help.
But that's when you're
That's when you
already
found your heart.
you're reaching out. What I'm saying is like you're in
Yeah.
the fire, you're feeling the feelings. Okay?
All right.
What I've seen suggested by a couple people through my research and my therapist, and now that I'm processing it, it definitely makes sense for me. Is when you're feeling the feelings, don't try to fight it, don't try to suppress it. Step back and acknowledge the presence of what's going on.
Yeah.
What am I going through? I am pissed. I am sad. I am angry. I am I am lost. Whatever it is, acknowledge its presence and that you're feeling it. And then you can let it be. You actually don't have to fix it right then and there.
Right.
If anything, you can acknowledge I am super sad about how this situation went. I am pissed. I am out of my mind. And you stress, with stress even, you don't have to fix it, but by acknowledging that it's there, it actually helps.
I can see
And
that.
and what you can actually do to get more in your body and out of your head is you can start noticing physical signs that are happening when you start to get activated. This could be tightness in your neck. This could be actually feeling your heartbeat. We all kind of have this, I think, a little bit of an idea of the seconds leading into total. It's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
oh no, and then it
I
kind of
feel like
goes
mine
off.
is literally the embodiment of the old cartoons where the steam coming out of the ears, or you see fire come out or shoot out of your
Yeah,
eye. Like I feel
yeah,
hot in the face,
Yeah.
And you
And
start
and
feeling
it,
flush and angry even sometimes. Like, why is this happening to me today?
exactly.
Why today?
And
What?
sometimes you want to take action. You're like, fuck this. No, no,
Right.
no, no, and you like
Well,
fight it.
you know me. I usually watch something very apropos to whatever you're going to bring up. So I got a meme for you already, just on what
I,
you said.
I
You
love it.
cannot see your reflection in boiling water. You have to turn the heat off, let the water come calm and get back to room temperature, and then you can see your reflection again.
Ooh. Ooh, I like it. I
That's right. You
like it.
cannot see your reflection in boiling water, but you can in the
So
calm water.
I love it. So when you feel the water start to boil, when you feel like Yosemite Sam and that steam's about to
Yeah.
come out of your ear, instead of running from it, or fighting it, just step back. Notice it. It sounds weird, but to whoever I'm talking to, it works. Try it. Step back and say, "Oh, I am feeling pissed." If that's all
Yeah.
you can do today, that is great. But you're giving yourself a second to acknowledge that it's actually a feeling that's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can look at it, you can label it, you can name it, but keep moving.
Yeah.
And for me, what that means is doing something physical, walking, mowing the lawn worked yesterday. I've reorganized my garage in the past couple of days. That really worked. I wasn't like in my head thinking about, sadness or whatever. And it turns out I accomplished a lot. And by the end of the day, I was like, holy smokes, look what I got done. So it was actually, it, it could have been a sad day that turned into a really good day. And you have to figure out what works for you, what keeps you moving
Yeah.
forward. If it's physical, for me, it could be reading a book. For you, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But pro athletes, just by talking about the stress of competition, it actually makes them feel better, which increases their performance. It's now being coached into athletes that you need to talk to people about this stress, because getting it out into the air actually takes a weight off your chest. You understand that you're a human being having human being feelings, and that you can understand that because you can give grace to other human beings who are feeling these feelings. If you're feeling these feelings, why are you not getting that grace? Right. So it can kind of like back you into feeling a lot better just by talking about it. Now, something I really want to emphasize is when you're feeling the feelings and you're starting this practice of noticing it and kind of like labeling it, oh, that's anger, that's sadness. It is not an easy skill. Okay. It is something you have to practice. It is something that is not an easy process, but at the end of the day, the return on it will be huge because you'll continue to grow in that capacity. Okay. I know we're talking about when you're on fire. This is what you need to do. You need to acknowledge you're on fire. You need to acknowledge why you're on fire, but you don't have to fix it. Give yourself just a little bit of grace. Give yourself some time. Okay. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to do any of that. Just notice that it's there. Give that to yourself and keep moving. That's easier said than done. But the first step is
Yeah.
honestly just being like, oh, I'm really fucking pissed. And a lot of times I didn't even know why I was pissed, right? But it sometimes doesn't matter. You just have to
Right.
acknowledge, oh, I'm angry. And for someone with PTSD, like my go-to wasn't like flight or freeze, it was fight. So it's like I would, just push back on everything I could, I would take it as a
Yeah.
personal insult if someone cut me off during the day or something like that on the highway. And it wasn't, but I would get that feeling. It was very real to me. And I had to acknowledge, okay, I'm angry. I'm angry.
That is part of controlling what you can control, though, if you think about it. I mean, but
Absolutely.
acknowledging it is something you can control.
Hmm.
Um, how you react to the way you're feeling is something you can control. Speaking it out that you're feeling, I think, is a great idea because you're speaking it out so you know it's there.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can help you. So even just venting that can let some pressure out. It could be the difference between going ballistic and not going ballistic. I mean, I used to be a
Uh,
wall puncher. I mean,
uh-huh.
like high school all the way up to just probably even a couple of years ago. I've gotten better as I gotten older and more mature and reacted to it better and not wanting to hurt my hand anymore. But when I was younger, I would punch a wall, put a hole in the wall
Yeah.
or something.
There you go.
On a concrete wall or something, hurt your wrist really bad, and your hand really bad. That's always fun. Dummy.
Yeah,
What a
the
dumbass I am
wrist.
sometimes.
The, the wrist, if you punch something and you don't have it lined up right, it's over.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah.
There goes my senior tour or my champions tour.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You're
If
a
I break
human
my
being.
wrist, if I break my
You're a
hand.
oh, if you, yeah, don't damage your wrist. I need to be your
Yeah.
caddy and make some money, okay?
What was it that
Um,
in was it Bull Durham? Kevin Costner finally pisses off uh Nuke, whatever, I can't remember the actor's name now. You know who he is.
yeah,
Crash
what do they
Davis
call him?
pisses off Nuke.
Yeah,
Nuke
crash.
punches him. He goes, "Well, what did you punch me with? Your left hand or your right hand?" He goes, "My left hand." He goes, "Good, you're learning something. Never punch with your pitching hand.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
giving you these lessons for free. Help me out."
yeah. That was on. I watched it the other night. Not the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Tim
I never.
Robbins. Tim Robbins was Nuke.
Yes, that's right. So, really quickly, back to what you're saying, there's controllables and uncontrollables. And in Stoicism, it says that the only thing that we can control is our own thoughts and actions.
Yes.
By accepting this reality, we can let go of things we can't control. And what's interesting about Stoicism is you didn't hear him say, the only things we control is our thoughts, actions, and our physical body, right? Because even in life, our physical body can be taken away from us. That can be
Yeah.
out of our control sometimes, but we
Yeah.
can, if we work at it, work on our own thoughts and our own actions, things that will be moving us forward. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Who's that guy that I've been sharing a lot? Peter Cross?
I'm
Peter
not sure.
Chris? Peter Cross, I think, maybe? Can't
What
remember
do you,
his last name, but I've been sharing him a little bit on Facebook. He says something really good. You can't. I mean, the past, as soon as it happens, you can't change it. It happened. It's over. It couldn't have happened the other way because it didn't.
right.
So the more you worry about how you could have done it differently. Now it's great to have a little learn a lesson from it, so you don't do the same mistake in the future. But at the same time, you know how bad we beat ourselves. Like, I could have done this different. I could have done that different about
Yeah.
so many situations, from lighthearted stuff to work to full time stuff to. I mean, I said this about my dad all the time. Like, I wish I would have handled that differently because I feel like letting him die in the hospital was the worst thing for him. He should have died at his house. We should have just done the steroid. So second guessing. Well, but you can't keep second guessing
Right.
because all I'm going to do is live in the past. And the past happened.
Yeah.
It couldn't have happened the other way because it didn't.
Mm.
Move forward.
Yeah. That's tough. That's a skill. That's what we're talking about right now is
Yes.
acknowledging that feeling, not having to fix it right away, but just being like, it's there. I
Yeah.
see it. I feel it. And then you can take steps of, well, maybe I should talk to somebody about this.
Yeah.
You
Or
talk,
just if it
you,
happens again, I guess in this specific situation, it'd be another family member with the
yeah,
same kind of situation. Maybe I'll use this information to be like, oh, how big is it? How big is this tumor? Maybe just a steroid to let them stay at home so they can live the last couple months to couple years with relative peace instead of having their head cut open and then, being tied to a bed for a couple days. Um, yeah, one of my worst thought or things that happened with my dad when that happened was hearing him down the hallway fighting with the nurses. Let go of me. No, I don't want to be tied down. I got it this, I got it that. And then they get ready to give him a sedative, and I walk in, and he goes, oh, you guys are in trouble now. Here comes my son. He's a cop. I was like, no, Dad, I got to help tie you up, too. you know,
yeah,
just broke my heart. Broke my heart. But you can't, that's the thing. Can't dwell on it and be like, oh, I'm so sad. I did this. I did this. I did this. It's the past. It happened the way it happened. It can't change. You can't change it. It didn't happen the other way because it didn't. So why focus on it for so long? Why be
and
and so
and
negative and so powerful? Like ruin
yeah,
your day. You think about it. Or you just snap at somebody and make their day bad, and
yeah.
then
Something I'm trying to help Kate with, and something I'm trying to help myself with is even when I make a mistake, was I acting in love?
yeah,
And if I was acting in love, I know in that moment when I made that decision, I was for real boots on the ground trying to do the right thing.
Right, exactly. And that's the other thing. You know, I've said this many times in my life for all kinds of different things, is giving advice as a police officer to, or as family members to friends and families. It's, oh, how do I say it?
Whatever way you want.
Trying to remember a little bit of it now too. His old man brain gets foggy all of a sudden.
Well, memories get to come in, and then, feelings start coming in, and
Yeah.
I get it.
You
It
make
makes
the
it,
best decision you can with the information you have available.
yeah. Yep. And that's
And
all
you're
you
doing
can
it with
do
good
at the end of the day.
intentions. You're doing it out of
Yeah.
love. You're doing it with good intentions. And that's what we were doing. So that's the second best thing I ever heard in the last couple of years after that happened was, yeah, that's true. I did. I mean, I even said it to myself. So I had to say it to myself several times. Like I was
Mm.
feeling it. Just like you said, I guess I kind of did it without even knowing it. I acknowledged the depression and the sadness from my actions of how it went down and end results. And I remember many times going, man, I just feel bad. I feel bad. And people say, you can't. I go, I know. I made the best decision I could with the
Mhm.
information I had available. So it's like I already knew the answer, but I still had to go through the time it took for that feeling to kind of finish fading away. But at least it wasn't as strong as it was before. I was reminding myself of that. So at some
Right.
point in time, I did just step back and go, man, I'm really sad at how this happened. It could have been better.
Yeah.
But I also knew that too, I couldn't really blame myself because I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I made the best
Right.
decision to go with the information. So that's the thing I was trying to remember.
100%. And I appreciate you sharing that because that's really tough, that's when you know what life is.
Yeah.
When you're in those moments and it's like, okay, this is my family. This is what it's
It's just weird. Like my whole life, I've been playing like a game, I guess, in a way. Not really worried about my life because, I was always in a position where the risks and the dangers are a little bit higher than perhaps some normal people, I guess, if you will,
Mhm.
or smarter people by not joining the military and becoming a police officer.
Mhm.
um, and then you see people, die or get really bad, injured in those scenarios in the military and as a police officer. And it never really quite resonates. It doesn't really, the vibration of the bell ringing for the death of a soldier or fellow law enforcement officer never really rung so loud as until like my dad passed and then my stepdad shortly after. It was, that's when it was like, oh my God, this is real. Like before, it was
Mhm.
almost like it's not a
Yeah.
game. It's a bad way to say it, but it didn't. I don't know. I
There's
wasn't
a
taking it
layer
as
of
seriously. Wasn't thinking
separation.
about it as much. Well, part of it
Yeah.
is also you have to kind of have that mentality. Like I'm not going to get injured in this situation, whether it was in the military or as law enforcement. I know I'm not going to get injured in this situation. I have to have that belief because if you go in
Right.
there thinking you could get injured, you're setting yourself up for failure. So you do
Yeah.
that for so long, for many, many years. Like I'm invincible. I'm going to live forever. And then it's, oh wait a minute. Oh, maybe not. And it catches
Yeah.
up pretty dang fast.
Who wants to live forever though? That would
Ooh,
be you want
the world is awesome.
to be a
Every
hundred and
sunrise is beautiful. Every sunset is beautiful. I mean,
yeah, I
or
know.
listen to a kid laugh, when nephews and nieces and little kids laugh. My kids, when they were younger, when they laugh, just the most joyous sounds in the world when you hear just pure innocent laughter from just a silly joke or something. And
It reminds me of heaven.
yeah, well, sure.
It
And
reminds
hopefully that's what it is. Hopefully that is what it is.
hopefully I was on the other side.
Yeah,
That's
I
what it
know.
felt like. Pure love, no governor on it.
Yeah.
No worry about like, oh, someone might think I'm silly if I love this person out loud and just tell them and kiss them on the face and like all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm getting to that point now though. Like I don't, I'm like, I'm gonna be something. I'm gonna be loud. I'm gonna say something loud. I'm gonna say something silly. I'm gonna be a big hug. I'm gonna make you
why
laugh.
not?
And then if anybody looks at me like, well, that person over there could hear you. I'm like, so what? We'll never see them again anyway. Who gives a fuck?
And it can't hurt somebody. Like my wife is one of the loudest people I've ever encountered. And I'm not really like a loud person, right? But the thing with her, and it's an everyday thing, is that the majority of the time that she's loud, she's doing it with joy. Like how do you tell a light that's shining really bright not to shine as bright? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. Like putting a governor on like your capacity to just fucking just she's just that person. It's just really
Yeah.
crazy. And I guess God sent her into my life because she wants to stop and help people. She asks for money to put in her wallet so she can give it to the people at the corner. It's just like the way she lives on a
Yeah.
daily basis is inspiring and makes me want to step my game up. And I mean, God saved me with this woman. He gave her to me he didn't give her to me. We ran into one another,
She chose
three
you,
years.
brother. She chose
I
you.
know. Well,
Good
that's the
news for
truth.
you.
That's the truth. That's the secret. Anyways, it's just been
They choose us. We don't choose them.
that is very true. That is very true. We're like puppy dogs. They're like, I'll pick this one.
That one looks cute. He listened to me. He went and fetched when I got him to fetch. He sat when I told him to sit. He's a good dog.
Yeah, he's a good dog. I love him.
There's probably so much more truth to that whole statement and interaction than we realized. So the
100%.
girls listen. Any of the girls listening right now can probably confirm that. Send us a note. Let us know how right we are, how wrong we are.
Well, my aunt said that to my dad one time. He like returned back to Scotland, and he had been working for the U.S. He's in the DEA, he's a secret agent, all that kind of stuff, talking all this stuff. And then my aunt checked him really quick and said, "If you think for a second you pick these women, you're wrong. They pick you." And I think she brought up, "Are you spending all your money?" Yep, they pick you.
Yeah. Oh,
So
wow.
back again to the person who is in the fire right now, who is feeling the feelings,
Hopefully, we
who
made you laugh a little bit too, and
we
stop
hopefully
thinking
we
about why you're in the fire for a second.
exactly. And a quote I heard recently, and I'll tell you afterwards so you don't dismiss it who it came from, but it says short steps, long vision.
Okay.
I really liked that because it works for me. If I have a goal that's too big, it makes it intimidating to me, and it makes it as if I have to make big steps all the time to all this kind of stuff. But the truth is little tiny steps get you there. The tortoise and the hare. The
Yeah.
hare gets there, it gets tired halfway through and takes a nap, overconfident, whatever it is, and the tortoise is just putting steps. You know what I mean?
Just put
And
in
it's
the
kind of
work.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like
That's
Batman.
another lesson of the ego really getting to you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you just got to put in the work, do it, and then the reward ends up being like the majority of the reward, I think, ends up being, oh shit, I did it.
Yeah, it's the feeling of accomplishment. It's feeling like you did something. You give yourself some affirmation from it. Somebody else gives you affirmation from it with a good job and a pat on the back, and suddenly you feel
So
normal and real.
did you think so? What we did through this process of getting together, doing this podcast, talking about these real topics, starting to get into more deep topics because we're starting to understand, why we're feeling, the steps maybe we should take along the way. If we're on fire, don't fix it. Just step away from that. Just be like, I'm not going to react right now because for me, especially if I was like activated, I had to basically be like, I have to go sit somewhere for 15 minutes just to
Yeah.
protect me from me. Because a lot of the times the actions I would take would be a lot of like, you know what? I'm going to tell that person how that felt when they did it. And then I would tell them in a very crude, angry way, which at the end of the day, I hated the way I did that because it
Didn't
made me
help
feel
anything.
just like a pile of dirt. It made me feel like it made me no better than the person I'm accusing of being unethical or immoral or like not a good friend or not a good senior officer or not like a good, like I, it sucks that like I bring myself down to them to show them this is how it feels. And then it feels terrible when I
Yeah.
do it. Because now I'm like angry at myself, like I'm angry at the other person, and it's just such a mind
And
screw,
we all do it. No, nobody get judgy out there listening to us right now and think like, oh, you guys are pieces of shit. You think that way, you do that. No, you do it too. You've done it too. You know you have. We've
Yeah.
all been that. We've let our ego get the best of us. We've let the emotions get the best of us, and we've said, "I'm gonna teach that person a lesson. I'm gonna teach them how it felt. They shouldn't do
Yeah.
that." And is it really our place to do that?
And what happens is when you really go through something traumatic, the governor really comes off. So you're like, okay,
Yeah.
so I've got nothing to lose. Like, really, I've got nothing to lose. If you're really on fire, you're like, I've got a back door ready if I need it. Okay. For those of you who understand that, it is what it is. I've got a back door ready to use it if I have to. I'm in this pressure situation. Um, Man, I kind of lost track of where I was going. Oh, and
Is
like,
it is
and
it
so
back
you're
door?
like, so literally in my worst situation, if I thought I was leaving this earth, I had a couple people in mind who I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to show them the pain I've been through before I take that last step.
Yeah.
Take that as you will. Resentment is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. I had feelings that were so strong. I believed that I could find this person, cut off their ear, hold it in front of them, and make them explain to me why I get to keep it. I mean, this is total dominance. Like, I am coming for your family type stuff. They will know who you are. And but it would take me down. It would just like destroy me at the end of the day when I would.
Not healthy.
It's not healthy. It's not healthy.
Not a healthy attitude. Not a healthy
But
response.
but
But
when you're on
it feels like that's what
yeah,
you need to do.
but when you're on fire, you can't tell. You
Yeah.
can't hear anyone's good graces and do this, do that. It's like, what in the fuck do I do right now? You know what I mean? Like, I am going to go after this person.
Let that boiling
Immediately,
water calm down. Turn off the
for,
heat. Sit down for a little bit. Let that boiling water calm down. You'll see your
exactly.
reflection again, and be in a better spot.
And the
What
more
was the
I
old thing that
pray,
used to say? Count to 10 before you say something or something like that. If you still want to say
yeah,
it after you count to 10, that one never worked for me. But I
yeah,
guess technically that's another tool for the toolbox if anybody needs it. You start feeling heated. You start feeling like you're going to lose control or something. Just sit down for a second. Acknowledge it, like Cam was saying earlier. Like, I don't feel good right now because this just happened. And I want to do that. I want to do this. But just like count to 10 for a second and then think about where you're at and what's going on and what you can control. Maybe that's just long enough for that water to stop boiling for you. And if it works, great. That one never worked for me. That one never
it's
worked for me. It just made me
there's
even
a
angrier. Why did they want
yeah,
to say and then I'm still gonna fuck that bitch up.
yeah, exactly. So I
But hopefully
think
it works for somebody.
you have to kind of back into it. Like, I had to learn the hard way. Okay, 10 seconds. And then I go off. Well, it didn't work. You know what I mean? I'd
Right.
show you. And then, and then be like,
Let's try.
5 minutes. Did you breathe? Yes, I breathed.
I'm
Still,
still alive. I missed a breath. Breathe.
still the fury came
Missed a
out.
breath.
And so, like, you have to figure out how to, like, my biggest prayer every day is, Lord, please protect me from myself. And if that means to start out, you have to spend, if you get activated, if you're in the fire, and if you have to spend 6 hours calming down, then that's what you're going to have to start with. That'll turn into 5. That'll
It'll
turn
get
into
better.
4. It will get better, and you'll start recognizing the signs more and more. Because
So
sometimes you don't even know.
would you say
Yeah.
that resilience is technically or is absolutely or actually a learned behavior?
Yeah. It's just
I
not
would agree.
giving up. Well, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
giving
right.
up.
But yeah. Well, first off, it's just not giving up. But once you the very first time you sit back
Oh,
and said,
yes.
"I'm talking about this issue" instead of just reacting to it, then it's going to get and it takes 6 hours and it takes 5 hours, 4 hours because you start learning how to what
Absolutely.
tools work.
Yeah.
You try all the different tools, whatever other tools you can think of that you hear from other people, or you think up on your own, and you try them. And one of them works, and so then you go try it again the next time, and the next time. So I think it is a learned behavior,
I
but
agree.
but I also don't think it's ever going to go away. I think you're always going to have the opportunity to try these tools, even
Yeah.
if it's not a really big, absolute like end of the world kind of moment,
Hmm.
loss in the family, shot in the face, go to war, whatever it is. It could be somebody cutting you off on the
Yeah.
highway and to stop that road rage. You could end up being better reacting to even the smaller things, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're right. And it's just, it's a skill too, and skills you do get better at. And it's just it it works. It sucks that it's the long way that works, but it really is. The first thing is noticing when you're angry. And you don't really have to understand why. Once you get better at doing that, you get that gap in time. If you notice you're angry, you're like, okay, my my action to take in this moment is to go in my basement and organize my workshop or whatever it is for the next 6 hours. I need 6 hours of doing something, working, putting my hands on something, reading a book, whatever it is for you. You know that when this sensor goes off, oh shoot, I'm pissed. You got to go do this. Sometimes for me, I play like a little video game on my phone. I know that sounds weird, and I was trying to explain it to Kate, and she goes, "You don't have to explain what you're doing to me on your
Right.
phone. I see when you're doing it, you're engaged, and I see that you're like in it, and I'll do that for like 10 minutes, play the game, and I'll come
Yeah.
out of it, and I'll feel a lot different. You know what I mean? I'll be calmer or whatever it is, and the calmer you are, the better decision you can make. And what I really hated on the reverse side of that is every time I was reacting quickly, my responses, you, you don't just have to like in not only were you angry, but now you have to unwind the things that you did. So you have to be like, sorry, I lost my temper, or
Yeah.
sorry I punched a wall, and
Yeah.
like so
Yeah. You got to fix the
you
hole in the wall.
you got to like so you basically got to fix the things you did and then come back to I was angry. So now you're like
Yeah.
pissed that you like did the things and all that kind of stuff. So I'm telling you, if you can sit on your hands for however long it takes, if you literally have to sit in your hands for 6 hours, like, and you don't do anything that you regret, that's a win. Like that is a win in my like for a
Yeah.
long time. Like I could not put two good days together. And it
Yeah.
turned out I was just like putting just so much anger and energy out there when I just needed to kind of like take back my power and just get
Yeah.
inside of me. And
Dude, I
but
think I
there's
needed this one today.
do
Honestly, I
what?
think I think I needed this one today.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had a good day of golf yesterday. Then a lot of other little things happened where I just felt like I was doing exactly. I was trying to do all these things. I didn't quite succeed at it, but I also didn't self-destruct like I would have before. I mean, I didn't start drinking. I just had like a drink or two, like I normally do after dinner, type of thing, and but I
Did
didn't
you
like
laugh?
go. I
Did you
didn't. Well,
laugh at
I
all?
didn't laugh it off.
No. Did you laugh at all? Like, okay, God. So I get the good day of golf, but
Yeah, I
here,
did. I was like, why? Can't you just like let me have this,
he's
please? Like,
reminding you.
well, it
It's
wasn't
just
actually. It was really to God. It was actually more to Satan. Like, what? Can't you just stay out of my life for like? I don't need the extra strife right now. I've been tested with strife. I know what strife is. I know how to
yeah.
overcome it. This just sucks going through this. I don't want to. Just stay out of my life for a while, please. Come on.
I saw this other quote today. It's
I said that while I was bleeding. I had my yard aerated. I was trying to do it myself, but I had little things to step on, and it's just so much work. And and I can't do the gutters anymore because I feel like I'm gonna fall off the roof. My whatever's going on in my head is
yeah.
progressed to the point where I can't even stand on a ladder now, or else I feel like I'm gonna fall off. So I said, as long as you're coming out to do the gutters, go ahead and do it aerated. They aerated. They broke a little thing that goes in the ground to help keep the squirrels and groundhogs away. It makes like a
Yeah.
little vibrating noise. Well, they hit that and broke it. No big deal. It's an older one. I'm not mad about it. But I go to pull it out, and I'm pulling it. It's already kind of broken a little bit, but it breaks again in my hand, and part of the plastic just slices my thumb. So
Mm.
this is like I'm running in here. I'm tracking mud in here. I track blood in here. I got blood and stuff all over the sink and on the floor and on this brand new carpet we just put down in the kitchen. Then I had to get the what is it, the Bissell cleaner out and get the
Yeah.
water on it and get that up real quick so it wouldn't stain because we have people coming over for Easter. And that's what I was like going, why? Why is this
Yeah.
happening? Like one thing after another. Why is this happening to me right now? It's like, why are you reacting to it poorly? It's just things that happen. Don't just calm down.
I heard someone say today the adversary wouldn't be attacking you if you weren't meant for something else.
Sure. Yeah, he wants to throw me off the game. He doesn't want me to be on the Champions Tour.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why I hurt my thumb, so I can't swing the golf. Now I think I can swing. It's my right. If it was my left one, I don't think I could swing because I'd be covering it, and that extra pressure would probably hurt. But I think I can swing with this on the outside. I'm gonna go as soon as we get done. I gotta make sure I can still hit it straight after yesterday. If I get
I
two
don't,
days in a row hitting it straight, I'm gonna be ready to go play a game. I just gotta put this to use to see what it's like, see what's going
yeah.
on here.
But what we would tell someone else is the real win is you're going to be outside 2 days in a row going after something that
There you
has
go.
nothing to do with the other stuff that is filling your head.
Nothing to do with all those bad thoughts and bad things and bad moments and cutting
Yeah.
thumbs and
You're going to church.
I'm going to church, walk around nature. I saw one guy hitting at the tee box barefoot. I'm like, that's actually a smart idea. I kind of like going to do that. Just stick
I've
from
seen
ground
golf.
to the ground and hit.
I recently saw a guy hit a hole in one with a driver on a par three
Yeah.
off a hill.
Huh.
Like
Up a hill or down off like
like it was actually down. It's the Frog Course in Georgia, Villarica, and it's got this like lily pad green.
it was like a
So
200 was it like a 200-yard par three?
it's like one. It was playing like 200. Yeah, it was playing like 200, but on the far right there was a hill, and the grass was still brown, so it's slick,
Yeah.
you know, and it just rolled right off that hill. Oh, like it
See,
just.
last week I would have needed driver hit it 200 yards too.
Like, I want to go play. I might go play today. I've got a cool little setup in the backyard. I can't wait to show it to you when you get here.
All right. Look
So we
forward
got
to it.
the room set up, all kinds of good stuff. I'm super excited. I know David will be super excited. I'll touch base with him.
Yeah, touch base with him
Uh,
before Thursday morning, just in case
yeah,
something came up and he can't swing it.
yeah, no problem, no problem.
I mean,
And
like,
and I even thought about that. I'd buy tickets. I mean, they can't be crazy out of this world expensive. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I'll just look at it. Let me look at it. I believe that we're going to be able to get in there, being you're a veteran and uh, I am a former police officer. So it turns out that day is for veterans and first responders.
I'm both.
I know. If anyone should be worried like him and those organizations that are pushing forward and actually recognizing it,
Yeah,
hopefully it tips the scales and then like departments like
more will do it. Yeah, and that's why
our
I thought I mean we don't have like a huge following where people are going to hear him and then take it to their department and address it, but you never know. I mean, we have
no
some
I
former employees that we work with that are all around St. Louis that might listen to this and might be in a
yeah
position to ask a lieutenant or captain or somebody higher about this kind of program. And so
because
I think it'd be a great idea to get them on. But more importantly than that, I mean, we were on the SWAT team together. We were buddies. We hung out together a lot. I hadn't seen them in a while. It'd be good
yeah
to catch up. And then also, I'm curious about this
yeah
program. Even though I can't do anything with it, I kind of want to applaud it from afar. Like I'm glad that somebody's doing it, taking it seriously.
exactly and what will happen is if enough departments will do it, then the other departments will be embarrassed.
Yeah.
They will lose their people, and all those people will go
Yep.
to good departments that have their back and aren't ready to burn them down, send them down the river like we got sent. You know what I mean? Like I can't wait for our old department to be thoroughly embarrassed by the mental health support
There's so
that
many
they
people changing there. I bet you that there's already a change in the culture inside of there. I mean, like some of the guys that we do like that are still
not
there.
not
I'll bet
without a
you.
mandated reporter.
Yeah, you don't think so? Well, there's a lot of changes in the city hall. Probably would have to change first too. Who knows? Not my concern anymore. It is what it is. Can't control it. It's the path. It wasn't supposed to happen any different way because it didn't.
Maybe one day they'll call us up and ask us to come in and give a meeting.
That'd be kind of funny.
That would be funny.
We would be talking to a lot of people that we've never seen before, though.
And it would be a pleasure to
Yeah.
have gone full circle, and I would do it with
It,
grace and
yeah, it
gratitude.
would be a really good redemption arc, I guess. I
It,
think.
and just us by doing it, we will have gone full circle. And it's not about like redemption. It's about like, okay, so this turned into something good. Like,
Well,
it's
it's
really
redemption.
weird that, like, redemption too, but it's really weird how, like, your worst moments can turn into your biggest victories. You
Yeah.
know, you can, as long as you, like, accept it, you start taking action, and then, like, all of a sudden you end up in a place you never thought you'd
Right.
be. Like, when we started talking about doing the fucking podcast, we started in January, and we are on episode 19. This is
That's
episode
cool.
19.
All right.
That's awesome. And forever and always, this will be out there. So if someone is like stressing, hurting, that sort of stuff, hopefully they'll be able to access it.
Yeah.
And we will continue on this mission. I can't wait to find more exciting guests to come on.
Shoot,
And
talk about a tree being planted that we're not going to get the shade on. This stays on the internet forever. You're talking about future generations, that family members of ours even, that are like, well, what did Uncle Cam do on this podcast? I'm kind of curious. What did Uncle D do on this podcast? I'm kind of curious. And then they watch it and get a little insight of who we were. And we're already, probably dead and gone by this point.
well, there's that. And then they get a belief and an understanding. Oh, they just did it. Like they
Yeah.
didn't get a call from somebody. They didn't
Yeah.
get endorsed by somebody. It was like they had an idea, they did it. They put something out in the world that was positive without expectation of return. And it turns
Right.
out the biggest return for me is I'm getting healthier. You know, and
It's helping us.
I believe you're getting healthier. We're
And we've gotten
great.
positive feedback from other people that have watched it and
Yeah,
gotten something out of it. People that we've never
absolutely.
even met before. And that's kind of
Absolutely.
cool.
I was in St.
So,
Louis at my sister's baby shower, and it turns out the person who was hosting it, his name's Drake Merritt, and he was in uh, he went to the same high school as my little sister, and he ended up putting on this thing, and I got to see him put my hands around him, and tell him, how cool it was that he got to do that, and I found out that he's been listening to us.
oh, wow.
Yeah, he was actually, I don't know if you know this, but there was a band, or not a band, a group, I guess you would say, in St. Louis called the Chalk Boys. It was actually like a little two-man like rap group that came out of Webster Groves, and they were like 5 years younger than me, and they would play at venues around St. Louis, and they're called the Chalk Boys.
Chalk boys. Like CHALK, like right on the chalkboard.
I believe so,
Is that
yeah.
AUK or
I handled a call one time at CJ Muggs where people were dining outside and someone drove by and to hit him with a shoe, and on the shoe was
but
written Chalk Boys.
that's funny.
That's really
That's
funny.
funny.
And it ended up being those kids who live like behind the police station. You know what I mean? So it's like, don't be dumb. I don't, no one was hurt for anyone out there. No one was hurt, but it was a really funny kind of Chalk Boy. I was like, huh,
Oh, them?
looks,
And
I
how long has
know
it been
them.
since then? Probably.
Do
Like
what?
on
How
your,
long is it?
yeah, I mean,
How long?
it was probably
Mm,
15, 20 years since high school at that point, probably.
shit.
So were the
Yeah.
chalk boys even doing chalk boy things anymore?
And I think
Besides
they
just cleaning out
were.
their closet, throwing things out.
No, it wasn't them. It was a fan. It was like some fans. Like they actually had young fans in St. Louis
Yeah.
that were following their group, and I'm sure they performed like in Soulard or not Soulard. I'm sure they performed everywhere. I went to one of the shows. It was pretty cool. I mean, it was
Well,
legit. It was a show. It's two guys on stage rapping with a
hmm,
whole crowd going nuts. So
good for
it was
them.
cool. Good for them. Maybe I can get Drake on here. Chalk Boy. He's
Yeah.
got two kids, and yeah, hopefully he can come on and talk to us about them.
So
Anyways,
he's like a guy in like his 30s or 40 years, probably.
mhm.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
gone through something. He's had to deal with resilience. Let's hear his resilience story.
or think of them as something. What one of the quotes that I keep running through my head, and I don't even know it's a quote, but it's kind of just like a message, is like it's still absorbing. I know I've talked about it probably in the last episodes, but no one is better or is less than anyone, which means no one is higher than anyone.
Yeah.
We all have the same amount of space in heaven. And if you think because your yard is bigger than your neighbors that you'll have a bigger slice in heaven, you're probably wrong. You
We
know,
all put our pants on one leg at a time.
absolutely. Well, buddy, I really appreciate you. And here's now that it's on my head, let me say one more thing. So I got to speak with Drake and I got to speak with his wife. His wife, Leah, who is not from the Webster Groves High School clique, right?
Good for her.
And yeah, and I showed up at their house before the shower, bringing over like supplies, the food, whatever,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. We're setting it up. And I get to chit chatting with her, and she says something like, "I'm not one of those Webster girls." And I'm like, "Good." I'm like, "Good for you." I'm like, "Do you know how?" Because she would say basically there's a group of girls who would be invited because they went to high school with my sister, but they don't socialize with anyone else. They like
Okay.
stay in that clique regardless of where they are. And Leah was pointing that out, and I was like, "Do you know how limiting that is to like I've literally run into people in other parts of the country, I think in other parts of the world, when they found out I was from St. Louis, guess what question they asked? You don't
Uh,
know because you didn't grow up in St. Louis, but the first question you ask is what high school did you go to?
right. Okay. Yeah.
And it's really shocking because they want to classify you,
Yes.
whatever age you are now talking to them, as where you went to high school, as
Yes.
where your parents lived. And
Yeah.
they
I always thought that was a weird thing about St. Louis when I moved up here. I also think it's weird. Like I made this same observation yesterday. You won't say sorry in the supermarket if you almost bump into carts. You just ignore people and look away,
right.
right? But then you go to a stop sign and somebody will be stopped there before I even come to the stop sign, and I'll get the stop sign and they'll wave you up. It's like, dude, you're slowing down traffic behind you. Just go. You should have already been gone. Why are
Mm,
you waiting for me when I'm 5 feet away or 5 miles away from the stop sign still? It's like
right.
you're so nice and polite. You'll wait at the stop sign to wave me through, but you won't even say sorry for bumping into my cart in the supermarket. St. Louis is so weird. What
It
high
is
school did
very
you go
weird.
to? I gotta know what area you grew up in so I can know how
Yeah.
to categorize you as my friend. Are you the friend I hang out with on Saturdays? Or are you the friend I hang out with on Wednesdays? Are you?
Well, I think that at the core of it, it's money.
Yeah.
They yeah.
Maybe it's just they got used to asking it, so they just ask it.
No, it's
You think it's actually
classification. It is. It's
classification? See,
classification,
I'm trying
and
to give them
and
the
they
benefit of the doubt. I'm just trying to give them the
and they
benefit of the doubt.
and they try to vet you. And actually, if you can be pushed out of cliques and all this kinds of stuff, and it's just really
I'm no
small-minded
stranger to
stuff.
that.
I thought it was maybe because St. Louis was like the gateway to the West, and way back when the people in St. Louis were probably getting their shit stolen by people coming through. So if you keep that circle small, you
Yeah.
might build some sort of protection from that. I don't know what it is. St. Louis is also a refugee city, which makes no, so that small-mindedness really makes no sense. You know what I mean? You've
Yeah.
got a large Bosnian community. You've got like there's black, white. Webster Groves, my sophomore or junior year, Time Magazine did an article on Webster Groves High School as the most diverse high school in the United States.
Wow.
I'm not kidding, and it's because they did a follow up to a Time magazine, not episode,
Volume.
volume, whatever it is, magazine way back when, in like I think the 70s, where they did the same thing in Webster Groves. They tried to say that Webster was the most diverse high school in the United States, and yeah, so you had the most diverse high school, I guess in the United States in Webster Groves with just these kids who are just can be super judgmental on two other people based on. I'm not trying to talk down on Webster Groves people. I'm from Webster Groves. My family lives in Webster Groves and all that kind of stuff. But for
Yeah.
anyone out there who like had a clique in high school and hasn't broken out of that clique after high school, I strongly encourage you to, because there's a lot of world out there, and those small cliques keep the barriers up and don't let a lot of like interesting things come in.
Yeah. Variety
So
is the spice of life. You got to meet new people and get more ideas and more perspectives in that ball of globe of perspectives and truth.
coming to Atlanta saved me. It re-inspired me to believe in humankind. When I first got down here, people would hold the door for me. I'd be like, "What do you want?" That's the way it is in St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
But I get down, and then like now I'm holding the door, and it gives me, and everyone's saying thank you, and have a good
I love
day,
it.
and
Yeah.
have a blessed day, and you're
That
just
sounds
like,
like Texas too.
what?
Texas was a lot like that.
And then
Uh,
you get downtown, and it's just a melting pot. People just get along. It doesn't matter. Just mind your manners, respect people, and do what you want to do.
that's the way it should
And
be. All of
yeah,
it.
it's really refreshing. But anyways, I'll quit talking your ear off. But those were a couple interesting things that happened lately, and I thought it would be cool if anyone out there who's listening who might be like, maybe I should get out of this city, or maybe I should get out of this clique. Why not? Why
Yeah.
not? It was
Yeah.
moving
Meet
down
new
to
people.
Georgia.
Meet other people from other walks of lives and other religious backgrounds and other money
Yeah,
backgrounds and other job profession backgrounds and get other
yeah.
perspectives of people. Yeah, that's good. Good stuff.
Stop lit.
That's one of the things I liked about the military. As much as we got to move around a lot, and people were always coming. I mean, you'd only be at a station at a base for like 3 years on an average. And in that 3 years, people are coming and going, and so you're always meeting new people, and you're always saying. So, but then again, the army is kind of a clique itself too. The military
Yeah,
is, but I think at different locations you deal with the different people in that civilian, the civilians in that society there that you're visiting or you're staying in. I was in Alabama, I was in Cuba, I got to Heidelberg, Germany. I got to go to all over Europe, Rome, France, Bosnia,
wow.
Iraq, Kuwait, obviously them too. I was supposed to go on a trip to Africa with one of the generals I was doing security with. It was right about the time I was going to PCS and get out of the Europe anyway. Well, I ended up getting out of. Well, I went to the reserve. And I got out of active. So because of that date was going to be too close to the day to go, and I kind of got pushed off the itinerary. But that would have been a fun trip. I got all the
For
shots for
sure.
it. I got all the shots to go in that third world country. That was fun.
Oh,
The peanut butter shot in your
malaria.
butt, yeah, all that kind of stuff. I still
Sure,
have my
them.
shot record. I've kept my shot records, and that, even after when COVID came around, I took my shot records. I said, add that on there too. I want to know everything that this freaking world has put into me with all the needles and stuff with these shot records. I want a record of it all.
That way, when all the ailments appear later in
Yeah,
life, you're like,
exactly.
which one of
Exactly.
these?
Which one of these could have been responsible for this? Come on, put two and two together.
Absolutely.
And get my rating to
I
go
love
up,
you.
my disability to go up from that. Then maybe I don't know. Get a little bit more money a month.
I wish I got some. I don't get nothing.
Um,
Um, let's see
when you
here.
get into Social Security time, you might be able to get something.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see. Whatever God has planned.
Yeah.
But as usual, my friend, thank you. I love you. You're
Love you too, brother.
amazing.
Hey, like I
Go
said,
out.
this was a good one for me. I kind of needed it. It kind of really kind of peppered my step, got my mind back right. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. It's a beautiful sunny day. It was supposed to rain all day, but it's not raining right now. So I'm gonna go hit me some little white balls, and hopefully
We
that swing is still going straight.
we can't remember that one of the core things here is like we get to get better. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like we get to be
but
accountability partners.
it is one
You
of the
know,
mission statement. It's in the mission statement.
hey guys, as usual, if you got any value out of today's episode, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on YouTube or Spotify. It goes a long way. Have a great week. See you soon.